What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, happy Sunday.
Heath and Tracy TV coming at you. Hope your day is going fantastic. Tracy and I have been married for almost 27 years. Our 4 children, our corporate Fortune 500 jobs, and hustling on the entrepreneurial front.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff going on. But welcome. We're so glad you're here. Today we're talking about what we're talking about today, baby.
We are talking about, well, I want to ask the question.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is, has technology ruined your love life?
Ooh.
It's a different stroke. It's a different stroke out there these days, especially for
devices.
those of us that have been out here in a while.
Yeah.
You know, out here, I think we've been in the, well, we ain't been in the game,
Yeah.
but
It's been a long time since we've been in the game.
it's been a minute
It's been
since
29 years since we've been in the game.
We're talking about how has technology ruined your love life?
Or has it?
Or yeah, I think it's pretty much affected everybody in some way, shape, or form.
True.
Trying to keep in mind people that are dating, people that are not in relationships, and people that are married. And I think it affects everyone. We've got 5 that we've read about recently.
But number 1.
The internet has increased the pool of possible mates exponentially.
Yeah.
So not only are we able to access more food, more activities, more events, we're also able to access more people.
Yes.
You know, you can do a hashtag on what you like. You can go on Instagram and scroll and jump in the DMs.
Right?
So,
Slide in the DMs,
slide in the DMs. So with that, there comes a lot of choices. So if you think back in the day, I'm just going to go back to like the 80s when Heath and I were in high school.
Okay.
And you liked somebody or you saw somebody you liked. Where did you meet them more than likely?
Yeah.
More than likely it was...
It was at school. It was at church. It was in the community, someone in the neighborhood that you grew up with. Maybe that went to a different school, but it was someone in your circle. Maybe it was Jack and Jill. Maybe it was from the baseball park. Lots of different places that were in the circle.
As we got older, it was maybe someone at the office, or maybe it was somebody on campus, or, you know, it could be a number of places, but it was usually someone in like your immediate circle. It could have been someone in your town. People met at bars, people met at parties, people met people through other people.
Right.
But that was the gist of it.
Yep.
It was pretty much wherever your circle was, that's where you were going to meet the person you were going to get with.
Yeah.
So, but now,
It's a little different now.
it's a little different.
It's a little different now.
It's a little different. You got the whole world as your smorgasbord.
It's right here. You can meet people from every corner of the planet.
Every corner. They don't have to reside in your state anymore.
Not even in your country.
Not even in your country. They don't even have to be on land anymore.
Dude,
They can
like-
be on a boat somewhere.
It's like, I ain't feeling you no more. I'm going to Brazil.
And unfortunately, we've heard those stories too. That's another.
It was like, we saw that on TV. It was like they did a whole show on that.
Or was it YouTube we saw that on?
Might have been YouTube.
I don't know. But there's a huge possibilities for meeting anyone, anywhere. And then with that, not only do you have possibilities of meeting anyone, anywhere, you can pick and choose
Right.
who you want to show up in your feed.
Right.
You don't have to just do, you know.
It's a different day.
It's a little different, guys. So that's probably one way it's kind of rough out there. Trying to meet people on the internet is you have the whole smorgasbord. You have the whole world in front of you to pick from. So that makes it tougher.
Yep.
Number 2.
Number 2.
All right.
Number 2, baby.
Comparisons. FOMO. This is one of Heath's favorites.
Yeah.
FOMO. What's FOMO, baby?
FOMO. The fear of missing out. I have so many choices. There's so many beautiful women in the world. How in the world can a guy make one choice? How can I just be limited to one?
And is the one that I did find on the internet, is this the best one?
Is this the best one that I can do? Is this the best I can do?
Can I do better? Is the one coming up here behind?
Let me check my DMs.
Or, you know, you get the side eye from the girl, y'all didn't agree, you didn't like
you know
what she
what?
ordered. Whatever, let me just go back to Instagram. It's awful. It's awful. So it's more of, in what it's done to people out there dating and trying to meet other people, is it makes them feel inadequate. It makes them feel inadequate. It makes them unsure of themselves.
Right.
Even the people that do get around to choosing or selecting someone, it gets to a point where, excuse me, is this the right person? Is he or she the one?
Right. Right.
So you start questioning yourself. And in the past, it wasn't really like that. You were like, okay, I met this person. I'm vibing with this person. This is cool. I'm good. Because I pretty much know my circle.
You had the smaller pool.
Yeah, you had the smaller pool.
So it's like, well, okay, so I know my choices are Mary from church.
Yep.
Kim from school.
Yep.
Or...
so-and-so.
Yeah.
That I don't know yet.
And so that was it. That was the gist of your dating pool.
Right.
Now it's literally the entire world.
Right. And with, Tinder and all these other things out here, they just kind of move on to the next one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So with that, it brings up a lot of, this is number 3, by the way. Number 3.
Mm-hmm. Number 3.
It's going to remove a lot of that fear of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, a lot of the social norms of meeting other people, technology has ruined us, guys. We're not used to getting rejected anymore because we pretty much can phase out who we want to phase out. And as far as courtship and desirability, I mean, I remember like back in high school, if you played an away game or something like that, or you visited the other part of the state and you see somebody in the stands, or you go away to a different part of town or something, you see somebody kind of cute.
Right.
You'd have this like mini desire to, oh, who is that?
Right.
And I wonder if they'll, whatever. You just went through this phase of desiring someone else.
Do you know anybody that knows them?
Yeah, the whole mysterious thing,
Right.
Who is it? What do they do? What do they like? Do they have a boyfriend? Do they have a girl? You go through all of that. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, swipe left. Swipe right.
You already know. You already know they're single. You already know everything about them. You just go on Facebook and look. They got their whole world. You can see if they have a boyfriend. If they had a boyfriend, you can see what they look like.
Right to the dating app.
It's crazy.
Swipe left, swipe right.
You really, really like that.
Boom, boom.
So what it's done is it's really gotten rid of a lot of the social norms of courtship, of desirability, of understanding and walking through the mysteries of finding out about somebody else, and if you like them more than what they look like,
More to it.
There's a lot more to it. So technology has changed that also. And number 4.
What we have for number 4?
Technology has also changed the way that we cheat.
Yes. So you literally can be in the bed with your mate and you having conversations.
Cheating.
You exchanging inappropriate pictures.
Cheating.
You're doing all
Snapchat with somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
Cheating.
The technology has just really enabled all types of things to be done. And you're also seeing, I think the statistics we saw said that we're also seeing a proliferation not just with the men, but also with women.
The infidelity gap has almost disappeared, guys.
Right.
It's not as taboo anymore for women to cheat, I guess you could say, because of the accessibility. I don't think people look at liking a certain person's picture and exchanging DMs with them as cheating anymore. But under the guise of how we live now within technology, it is cheating.
Yeah. And I wanted to dive in that just a little bit more, baby. Just from the perspective of when you talk about your own norms, your own morals, your own values, and I think that technology has certainly created a scenario where those lines have been blurred.
They've been skewed.
And I think that for people who have a certain moral compass, what you want to do is sort of use remember the bracelets, what would the WWJD, right? So it's sort of like, what would your mate say?
No,
right?
What would you do if your wife or your girlfriend was standing right here looking at you?
Right. So if you're engaged in behavior, think of it as if my mate were standing here next to me, would I do that?
Right.
And I think that that's really a good guise as to how you can sort of conduct yourself out here with the technology, right? Because it gives us so much access to so many different things. But if we break it down to a simplistic point of view, if I cannot have a conversation with someone, with my wife, feeling comfortable with it,
it's cheating.
then I probably don't need to be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just call it what it is. And we have to change what we call it because the way we're engaging with one another is very different than we've had to do in the past.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think people used to say, oh, is it okay for a guy to have lady friends if he's married or if he's, you know, is committed in a committed relationship?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is it really depends these days. It really depends on the level of relationship. Are you doing things that your spouse is not, or your significant other is not engaged in with this other person at all?
Yep.
What are you talking about in that? So that's what happens in technology. You can text anything to somebody else and the other person doesn't even have to see it.
Right.
So you could talk about your sex life, you could talk about your financial issues, you can talk about what you like about them, and you feel more comfortable doing that because you're texting, because you're typing it in, because you're Snapchatting or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still wrong. So what we have to do is adjust our moral compass. And we're just kind of going through how technology has changed people's love lives or ruined people's love lives. But we'll talk about solutions at another time. But right now we're just kind of discussing the 5 ways.
Yeah.
We're discussing the 5 ways,
5 ways
that
technology is impacting.
it's really changed. And number 5 is, when it's over. How has that changed? Okay, so let's think back. Let's think back. When we didn't have all this technology, how does somebody break up with you?
You know what? I don't want to go with you no more.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah. You tripping and you doing this and that. Would that happen right there? So I can't do that with you.
That's not what you said last night.
Don't worry about that. We done.
Is that really how it's going down? No, I'm calling you right back. Ring.
Hello?
Ring.
Hello?
Look, we really need to talk about, can we meet at the candy store?
All right.
Now? Please?
All right.
Please? Thank you.
All
I
right,
didn't expect this.
That's fine.
That's how you broke up.
Old school.
That's not how you do it anymore.
Yeah. What they have, like the term, you freeze
No.
somebody out.
Ghosting.
You ghosting. It's like you got 100 texts from them yesterday and today nothing.
Nothing. You blowing them up? Nothing.
Nada. It's a wrap. It's like Iceland.
Icing. That's another one.
Icing.
Yeah, icing.
So it's icing. It's just done. So that's how they do it now.
So the other person freaks out and sends you 100 texts, and it's awful. It's awful because all of a sudden communication is cut off, and the person that cut them off is like, "Oh, I'm just done with that. I'm moving on. I've moved on to the next DM."
Yep.
And it's wrong. And you have to check your moral compass once again. It's all about the moral compass when it comes to technology. You really have to balance it these days. You really got to remember that's another person there.
Yep.
And if that person wasn't, if you haven't met them yet, you've been carrying on a relationship over the internet or through Facebook or through IMing and just texting one another, and all of a sudden you stop talking to them, you're in a hole.
So at the end of the day, people are people, right? And technology is giving us lots of different caveats to how we date, how we break up, how we feel about relationships, how we engage in relationships, ambiguity in relationships. But at the end of the day, you have to remember people are people. And people have feelings, people have emotions, people want to be courted and thought of and treated well. And so keep that in mind when you're out here in the dating scene.
You have to go back to we have to continue to support one another's emotional health. So if you find yourself getting depressed, feeling down about someone that's not as responsive as they used to be, you have to think back. You have to remember that feeling when you do it to somebody else, because you're probably going to do it to somebody else.
That's right.
Don't just give people your Instagram and then ignore them. If you don't want to give them your Instagram, don't give it to them. Because if you give them your Instagram, that is a signal. That's a yes signal. So if you don't want to be bothered with someone, the answer is not giving them your Instagram. The answer is, I'm just not really there right now, and give me yours. Maybe I'll hit you up. Just think of it like that. Be a little bit more thoughtful in your rejection. Be more thoughtful in how you're going to carry out something, and think back and say, how would I feel? How would I feel if I was going through this?
People are people. Spread the love.
Spread the love, guys. But yeah, we didn't want to ruin your Sunday evening or anything like that with such heavy talk about why technology is ruining your love life. We could talk about this for days, and we'll probably split it up and talk about it a little bit more, maybe on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, KeithAndTracyTV.com.
That's it.
We also have a Facebook page that you're probably watching us from right now. Don't forget to like
a page,
and we're starting to turn up our new website. You may have gotten a note for that. It's KeithAndTracy.com.
Yep.
So remember to stay connected.
Stay connected to God. Stay connected to your family. Stay connected to your spouse.
Or your significant other.
That's right.
See you next week at 7, guys. We love you.